What's up, YouTube? Back again with another video, and we're working on the 306 again today. Today we're going to be starting building the top end. We're going to figure out our push rod lengths. I got some awesome tools for that right here. Basically cut the factory push rods up and then just put a bolt in there so you can adjust your push rods and figure out your push rod lengths. That's what we're going to be doing today, and then ordering up some push rods and getting this top end built. Alright guys, we're just getting all of our lifters installed here. T-bar lifters. Just filling them with engine oil, and then when we put the push rods in, we'll put a bit of assembly lube on the push rods. But engine oil works fine for this. So these are solid roller lifters, so you don't have to soak them and fill them with oil like you would a hydraulic, because they're just solid, so the oil is just for lubrication. The reason we're doing solid roller is so we can get some higher RPMs, over 7,000 RPMs out of the motor, so be able to spin it up a lot faster. It'd be awesome. Alright guys, putting our head on here. Just gonna set her down in the dowels, out scratching the deck surface. I just want you guys to know while we're doing this stuff, we are learning as we go too. Lots of YouTube videos, so don't quote us on anything that we do, please.
Yeah, we're not the how-to. We're just the doing.
Yeah, we're the just relatable guys that have no idea what they're doing.
We got that good old Trickflow twisted wedge 11R.
Yeah,
351 heads on a 302 because we're going for that power.
Yeah, it's a 205cc head. Most guys run the 170s on these little motors, but we went all out, and we'll see if she likes it or not.
She identifies as a 351W, so we're good.
Yeah. Yo guys, what's up? It's been a couple weeks now since we last filmed, and we're working on the motor. Ran into an issue. Our roller rockers were actually roller rockers for a big block Chevy, we realized, and yeah, we got the wrong ones like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago whenever we got the parts. So that really sucks that we didn't realize that until we started building the motor. Either way, we got them exchanged. We got our right ones now, the correct roller rockers for a small block 302. They're actually 1.72 ratio, these guys. A little more lift, you know the deal. But they're, as you can see, kind of faded. It's weird. So it's the same color, but they're dyed kind of weird. I don't know if you can see that. Like, they just had an issue maybe with the batch. I don't know, but either way, they'll work for what we're doing. So we're gonna get to building the motor, get these things on, and get our push rods measured. All right, guys. So we're just measuring, or sorry, not measuring, but testing our rocker sweep here. So I just put Sharpie, and I got to put some more on there, on the top of the valve stems, and then we'll put the rockers on, roll it over, and see where it leaves a mark. We got our push rod lengths already measured, and the push rods just came in, so I'm checking this again. I'll show you guys what we did, the process we did in order to get our push rod lengths in a second here, but we're just gonna double check now with our new push rods that our rocker sweep is right where it should be. Zero lash. You just finger tight, zero lash, okay guys? Alright, there we go. Now that's all set up. We're Sharpie marked. Now we'll roll it over 2 times. You want both of these to go down twice. Here we go. Okay guys, back to neutral. That's 2 revolutions for both. Let's see where we're at. So just loosen these guys off.
I want to be careful because you don't want to bump it around, because then you get an inaccurate reading. Don't bump it around like I just did there with my twitchy hands, and then you just want to pull it straight off. Right? There we are.
And we're looking good. We're looking really good, guys. Look at this. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but we're looking good. You know, we're obviously closer to the inside a little bit there, but we're good to go. This motor's ready to go together. The only other thing we have to do now is we got to pull this head off, put Play-Doh on our piston, and then do the same thing over again and measure our piston to valve clearance. So then we pull that Play-Doh apart and measure that with a caliper and hope our piston to valve clearance is good. I gotta double check the spec. Yeah. How did we measure our push rod lengths? Okay, so these are the push rods I ordered, but we had to measure the lengths because we're doing the heads and the cam and everything to make sure we had the right push rods. So what I do, this is actually it here, right? It's just chilling here, right? That's it. There it is, right? So this is a stock push rod, right? Cut in half and then a piece of thread put in there and a little lock nut. So that's how much longer we went from stock. Quite a bit, right? So there you go. All you do, cut this in half, tap some threads in there, and put your chunk of ready rod in there. And you're good to go, ready to rip. Okay, let's do some piston to valve clearance measuring. That'll work, I think. All right, there you go. Right, so that'll work. You see the valve reliefs, right? Just covered them. Obviously, it's just a 2-valve. I just covered the whole thing, right? And so yeah, that should be good enough. And we'll just roll this motor over and then take it apart and see what that measurement is. Wow, guys, this is crazy. I'm in shock. Like, I don't even have to measure this. Look at this. There's no marks in this. There's these marks right here, right? But other than that, there's no marks in this. Crazy. That's wild. So, you know, I was getting worried because these are like a big head. They're for 351Ws, and I have 1:7 ratio roller rockers, and so I didn't want to go with a really crazy cam, because I was worried about having to fly cut my pistons. And you know, like, engine vacuum and whatnot too, but aside from that, really worried about, piston to valve clearance. But we're good. We're really good. So, I mean, I should have went with a higher lumpy cam, but I think this will be good, we'll see what the car's like, and if we can go to a bigger cam, we will, so it's just, it's our first build like this, so we wanted to start off mild and kind of build our way up. I mean, we didn't do that with the heads, but so that's awesome. We can put this thing together now, like these are 30 over pistons. They're aftermarket pistons, so they already come with good valve reliefs in them, so that's probably why we're looking good. I'll just peel this off here. Right? I had it all... Oh, here comes the door. Watch out. I had it all meshed down in the reliefs and there's no marks. We're good. That's awesome. Sweet. All right. Cool. All right, guys, so yeah, we're good to go with this thing. We're ready to start actually assembling it now and not worrying about measuring stuff and whatnot. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to start, I'm just going to get the cylinders, just, the last little bits cleaned out of them and whatnot, and then put these heads on and start, torquing stuff and sealing stuff and all the fun stuff. So just going to set you guys up with a time lapse, and I'll just kind of pick away at it here.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Alright guys, so the GoPro died. Basically, Lane showed up and we got the valve train in. Haven't set our valve lash yet. I'm going to do some more research and double check exactly what I want to send that to. And then was going to install lower intake, but it's pretty filthy. I forgot my die grinder. I cleaned it up a bit, but I just soaked it in degreaser too. We'll just let that sit and install it another day. And then I got this guy installed, just the front cover there, sealed. I was going to put the oil pan in underneath here, but realized that the kit came with cork valve cover gaskets and oil pan gaskets. And for those of you that don't know, cork gaskets suck. I've had nothing but issues with them. So I'm going to get a nice set of valve cover gaskets and oil pan gasket set, like a silicone gasket or rubber gasket from the parts store. And then we'll put that on. But I'm going to go call it now and just go plug in the GoPro and do some editing and whatnot. And yeah, so we'll be back at this again soon. Hopefully we'll get it all wrapped up this week. And next weekend we can start putting the motor in the car. That'd be sweet. Yo guys, me and Jord here, and we're just about to get this thing finished, eh?
Coming back at another beautiful day in British Columbia, and we got a motor to build.
Yeah, nice beautiful day out. We just finished working all morning up at our local racetrack, getting the burnout box, just doing some forming for a burnout box we're putting in there.
Yeah.
We're cutting asphalt all morning.
Yeah, we're a little worn out, but we're gonna get her done today.
Yeah, we're gonna get this motor finished, and you'll see the finished product by the end of today. It's gonna be awesome.
I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
Alrighty guys, just got the oil pan on all the way, finished up, threw a little bit of fresh paint on it just to touch it up. And we officially have a short block. It is sealed completely together. There's no more work going on the bottom end.
Bottom end's done. Now we just got to do, like, the front cover's on. We got to do water pump and all that stuff, accessories, and of course the intake and all that. I think we'll probably set our valves right now. I'll set these valves. We'll do a little time lapse of that to get those where we want, and then we can really start assembling.
Yeah, intake, upper and lower, and she's
Valve
good.
covers, see how those valve covers fit. We should do that first. I really want to see if those things fit.
Yeah, but by the end of today, we should have a complete motor.
Yep.
Together, ready to rip, stick it in the car, go racing, buddy.
Right.
Right, yeah. All right, guys, so now we're going to be setting our valve lash. And for those who don't know, this is a solid roller camshaft, which means the lifters aren't pumped up with engine oil. They're just a solid chunk of steel. So you got to set your valve lash properly so your valves don't hang open when the motor is warm. And Tyler here is going to give you a little demonstration on how to do it.
Yeah, I'm just setting my valve lash. This freaking thing has gotten so much cat hair in it. Even though we have the cover on it, it still gets cat hair in it somehow. Anyways, now I'm not the best at this, but what you want is you want it. See, that's too tight. See, I'm having that's jamming up. Too tight. We'll back that off. You want it to be a smooth stroke and not grabby. Right.
Yeah. So you get your feeler gauge set to the right gap.
Just like that. That's liking that there, and then just leave it in there. And now what you have to do is lock it where you want it. So we have to lock this in. And we want to try and make sure that that rocker is centered there.
Yeah. So the wrench,
There.
the wrench controls the actual lash. It moves the rocker kind of up and down, tightens it or loosens it.
Yeah.
And the Allen key in the center is the lock. So that's what prevents it from moving while the motor's running.
And we're going to set these. We're setting the exhaust to... oh, wait. This is the intake valve. Whoops. So we're setting the exhaust to 22 and the intake to 18 thou. We're starting with that. It's probably pretty loose, but we can tighten it up from there.
Yeah.
It'll probably go when we start it, but we'll just see.
Yeah, better than hanging a valve open.
Exactly. So I got to redo that one because I set that one to the exhaust spec, but 18 on intake, 22 on exhaust. We're going to get these knocked out. We'll check back in with you guys in a bit.
Yeah, we got 16 of them to do, so we're not going to bore you guys, but we'll see you when we're done. He's still trying to set the valve, but
Jordan wants
I just couldn't
throw
wait.
everything on
I
here.
just couldn't wait. And guys, this thing looks sweet.
Yeah.
Check out this thing. She is looking bad. Got that intake on there. Got those beauty Ford Racing valve covers.
She's gonna be a ripper.
Oh, she cleans up nice.
Yeah. Looks good.
So yeah, it's pretty much that's pretty much how she's gonna look like in the car. Obviously gonna have a bunch of intake stuff.
And a whole bunch of stuff on the front here hanging
Yeah,
off of it.
all accessory dive, but she is one bad unit right now.
Oh yeah.
If that doesn't get you hyped, nothing will.
Yeah, buddy.
So we're gonna take it all back off and finish the valve
Just quickly
lash adjustment
rip
here.
this off.
Yeah,
Rip
yeah,
this
you don't
off.
need it. Yeah,
You don't need any hardware.
no. Anyway, so we're gonna finish setting the valves here.
Jordan got a bit
And then-
distracted when he went to put the lower intake on. Here, just quickly throw that valve cover on there. Okay, let me grab this. Grab that other valve cover.
Hey, you gotta admit, she looked hot.
Yeah, he does. Those Ford Racing valve covers are meat.
So yeah, we're gonna finish up and then we'll get back to you guys once we're putting that stuff on for real. It's not coming back off.
Yeah. Oh, all right, guys, valves are set. GoPro died on me, so I didn't get the last few, but all the valves are set to 22 on the exhaust and 18 on the intake. Doing good, all right? Jord is just cleaning up these gaskets that we just port matched.
Making them look pretty.
Yeah, and then we can put the lower intake in. I'm just gonna put the valve covers on, Jord.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Nice,
buddy.
we're finally there, right?
Yeah, valve covers. Maybe I'll just lace the valve train in oil, throw the valve covers on, and then
Yeah, man.
go together.
She's gonna be looking sweet. I don't know if this is gonna come through on camera, but this is the intake manifold. Obviously the head's in the block here, but we're losing a little bit of horsepower because the difference between that port and that port, yeah, those are a lot bigger.
I knew this for a while. It's just, I bought this, I spent so much money on the heads and everything, and I bought this intake used. It's like a Trickflow intake. It's like one of the bigger intakes they make for these things. These are just 351W heads, so they're huge heads. But the reason I bought those is because, yes, this is small and we'll be losing horsepower, not using our head to its full advantage, but these heads will last us a long time. We can use these on, once we're making 1,000 horse on this car. This intake will be in the garbage, or it'll be on another build, but these heads will still be on the car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
These heads are lifers for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
They are some bad heads.
And now we just got our head resurfacer, so we'll probably have to test that thing out on these bad boys one day once we get the hang of it.
Once the nitrous pours in a little hard there, we'll be resurfacing them all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if anybody else happens to notice that in the video,
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. We know we got big plans for the future, and it does not involve buying new heads.
And
so.
yes, we could try like porting these things out, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, we're just gonna hit it with more nitrous. That'll make up the power, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. So we kind of at a standstill. So as you can see, I have this bolted down, no gasket in it. There's a huge gap there. You can't tape that up with silicone.
Yeah.
So we need some sort of a valley gasket that kind of comes up and around, and I think you can get those. So I'll have to find that. And then we need upper intake manifold gaskets, and we need more water pump bolts because we're missing water pump bolts. and so on and so on. And I'm like, okay, well, we got the valve covers on. We threw some spark plugs in it. We're like, what else can we do to feel more accomplished? Well, I'm going to throw the motor mounts on. And then we'll probably finish up for today, and we'll get some more parts, and then we'll get this thing finished up.
And remember, if you're going to hit your car hard with nitrous off the line on slicks and making like 500 foot-pounds of torque, you want to make sure to get the super cheap rubberized stock
replacement.
Stock replacement motor mounts there.
Yep.
Because you see, when you leave, it's going to give the motor a nice twist there. It's going to counteract the car. It's going to be perfect.
Yep. It'd be good. All right, guys. So let me talk to you here. Jordan and I basically gave up yesterday because of that big gap at the bottom of between the intake and the block. So basically, big gap right in here where we put the intake on, right, on both sides. But I went to Lordco, and Mike there at Lordco helped me out, and he got me some of these little rubber gaskets here for in between the block and the intake. Now, they're still a little thin, but what we can do now, see, I got one on here that looks awesome, hey? I think they're still gonna be a little thin, but what we can do is basically fill this with blue silicone on either side, and it should seal. Hopefully that'll give us enough, and we'll just have to see. And so I'm gonna do that now, and hopefully we can get most of this wrapped up. We're missing a bunch of hardware, and a bunch of the old hardware was just done. So I went there and I grabbed a whole bunch of hardware too. So I hope I can get the long block, like the whole top end and everything pretty much wrapped up today. Guys, so we're moving along pretty good here now. Got the lower intake sealed up there. You can see how big that gap is, but I put silicone on the bottom and then the silicone gasket and then the silicone on top on both sides. So that should seal, hopefully. I'd be pretty surprised if that didn't seal. Anyways, lower intake on, spacer in, gaskets in, upper intake on. The only hardware I don't have, see, these are special nuts. And they're special bolts too. They're really small bolt heads, but really long. I need to get 2 of those. So we only have the 4 nuts on right now, but either way, it looks pretty good. Got the distributor on there, water pump hardware on. We zoom out a bit here for you guys so we can actually see this whole thing here. Looking really good. It's taking up a lot of space in the room here now. Distributor fitment is just insane. Look back here at how tight the distributor fitment is here to the intake. It's sitting right on it. Like, that's insane. The distributor was a fight to get in there. It wasn't playing nice with the oil pump drive, but we got it in. But yeah, like, it works. Like, that fitment's good. It's just really tight. It'd be good. I haven't timed it or anything yet, ignition, but I just threw it on there just so we could, just to make sure. I'm gonna clean up inside of it because it's pretty gross in there. Show you guys here. It is pretty gross down in there, so we're gonna clean it up, but do that later. For now, I think I'm just gonna put these headers on that we got, throw the headers on there and then see how that looks, and we'll pretty much be done. Other than I gotta put the crank pulley on, we'll pretty much be done doing the top end on this, guys. So let's get the rest of this finished up. All right, everyone, we're chilling in the Fox body here. You know, I figured what a perfect place to
end this video off with a bang. You know, that was an awesome video. I'm so excited on how that motor turned out. Just a few more little things to wrap up on that, and then we're going to be putting it into this car in the next video. Okay, so I hope you're excited for that one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.